you so much, Laura. Indeed, Hyli is joining us for PGL together with Guldborg and Yamato to wrap up the day. Hyli, congratulations. Crazy stuff, I think, from the expectations that were so low for the Mad Lions. You actually, as Laura said, you repeat what you did in winter so far. So what do you think it was down to, the fact that you've arrived so fantastically in this finals weekend?
Well, I think it's a lot of effort from the players and the coaching staff. We worked a lot throughout our issues to make it that far, since we almost missed playoffs. We were pretty disjointed team, but I think we knew what was the problem and we worked on it, and now we're here. And also I feel like Mark and Pat has been doing a great job from drafting. I think our drafts has been much better as well, so everything kind of helps.
So what kind of steps is it that you really need to take as a team? Because I think the main identifiable one on an outside perspective was the fact that sometimes draft wasn't that playable, and then the other one was that maybe the team didn't link up too well on the Rift. So what steps do you specifically need to take to fix these things?
Oh, I mean, draft, I think we just need to know our priorities a bit better, like our combos and what we are really playing through. But I think even the drafts that they were giving us were not, bar this Fnatic game that I was playing Nautilus and kept dying. I think everything else, I think we could have won. But we're not on the same page, and we're doing our own things, and we didn't really have identity, or we were just without plan. We're talking about stuff that were not very needed to be talked about. There were more important things, and we were just all over the place.
I'm really curious, Hyli, now that you've played 2 splits in the new format, and you guys have had the most cruel kind of timeline in terms of how many games you've had to play. How do you feel energy-wise coming in now to a final best-of-5 after playing a back-to-back best-of-5s for the second time in the same year?
Well, I feel pretty excited. I feel full of energy. Yeah, I think my team is very excited as well. Every kill on stage is we're super happy and shouting, and if we die, it's fine. We're always trying to find solutions. So even if there are more games today, and we will be still the same team. We will not care of the position we are in. Even if we're 10k down, we will still try to win. And yeah, I think that's why we're doing so well. I'm not sure what exactly changed, but we're just BDS are there. They're just very close to each other, and they see the game from the same point of view now, so it's way easier to play and have fun.
When it comes to this series specifically, we know that Vitality, they had your number in the regular season, generally when you played them, and we know that their ceiling can be very high. What is it from your perspective now that you played from them in a best-of-5? Do you think that kept them from reaching that level? Of course, you guys played really well, but...
It's hard to say. I think the drafts, maybe they practiced them, but it really felt like that they were trying stuff. That it was not really practice, except maybe the Tristana Maokai. Everything else, I feel like it was not very practice, or they didn't really know how to play around it. And also, I feel like our just mid jungle was outperforming them, except the game that we lost, actually, the Tristana game. So I feel like if your mid jungle is winning, it's so easy to play the game and get control and stack drakes, and just... I also think they had not very good read on the game, since they didn't contest drakes that much, or if they did, they were putting 5 people. It was crazy, and yeah, I'm not sure what is the issue, but it felt like the Rumble, and I just don't see these picks working, you know?
You said a lot, actually. You're I don't really know, but it's this. And I think it's so obvious because everything does seem to be working from the side, from your side. You talk a lot about mid-jungle, and I think that was very apparent. But also, I think Hyli jungle or support mid jungle, which is a crucial thing always in League of Legends, Guldborg, but that was working really well as well.
Yeah, I think as well, even going back to, was this game 1? Might have been game 1 when you were playing against the Lucian Nami, where it was just well, Kai'Sa kept going back and just stand around the Lucian, but you always were around mid lane after the first play kind of worked, and it always felt like no matter what happened on the map, there was always one quick response rather from Mad Lions than from the side of Vitality. And you say mid jungle, I think as well well, that a lot of it has to come down to the 3v3 when you start incorporating the support as well. So I think huge credit has to go to you as well, specifically on the Nautilus games too, and how the impact was really found in this series.
Yeah, I think support had a big influence in this series. If support could like make a fight happen, usually it would be like very beneficial. I feel like the Tamkench didn't really work out. Also, I lost on Renata. Even though I think Renata was a good pick, I probably should have picked something else just so I can make something happen in the game rather than let myself get engaged and we can't play them. Just because if they don't engage, then we don't really have a play. And I feel like that's one of our strengths as a team as well.
What's your perspective about coming into the final? Because on the one hand, you've played 2 best-of-5s and you really learned a lot about not only what you can draft for yourself, the best, but about the meta. But on the other hand, you have a BDS who's watched all those games and do have the ability to be very creative and catch you off guard. So what does the preparation look like? You don't have a lot of time. And is there even time to go in depth as to, okay, let's think about everything they could pull out?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard because you said it, like they know everything that you're doing. If they paid attention to our games, they can see our habits and where we're warding and how we're positioning and what our priorities are. And we don't really have that much information. But we're coming with momentum, and I think we're very, very hungry to win actually. And I think BDS is quite a good team, so it would not be easy. But I think we'll try our best, and I think it'll be a fun match tomorrow.
Yamato, that's the $1 million question, right? You and me were wrong, actually, on Ready Check. The first day, they have already won a best-of-5 together, BDS. In fact, it was just last week. It was on Monday versus Vitality. But I guess we can reset it in terms of arriving in your first final together. Someone also reminded me that the trio that played in the LFL actually lost their finals when they played back in the LFL. So there is going to also have to be evolution from there. And as Hilly says, the momentum. You can't warm up into that. It's going to take you that game 1. It's going to take you maybe that game 2.
I think the key underlying difference, right, is that the 3-0 Vitality was very smooth sailing. And I think that when things become challenging, let's say you drop a game, how do you bounce back from that? That is the key thing. How will they react to what Mad Lions is going to throw at them? Mad Lions so far have shown that they are very, very sharp in the transition periods between the objectives spawning, while BDS is the team that has had very good setup around the objectives. I think that in between, that is where Mad Lions is going to challenge them and be very, very tough. And I think that is going to kind of put a different challenge to BDS and push them towards the wall, because this is not something that we saw in the regular split and also not in the group stage either. So how BDS react to these challenges, that is where the experience is going to kick in.
Yeah, I think that's really the interesting thing about tomorrow's matchup, that you can go for player versus player and look at that if you want to. But for me specifically, I am really looking for that map movement. I am really looking for those objective setups. I think BDS had the best set plays around objectives in the way that they set it up. They were the first team to really figure out how much these dragons actually will give you in the meta currently. And I think Mad Lions, well, maybe you realized it as well, the way that it's been played as well today, that a lot of it will come down to these objectives. So I think that's the key moment. Not necessarily the fight when it starts, but all the small intricacies that the players had set up before the fight starts will be the big thing in tomorrow's matchup.
And who's better in the clutch? And I think it's a beautiful final we're going to have tomorrow. Not one that a lot of people would have predicted, and you know it as well as I. Not a lot of people would have put you in the final. You said it already. We're feeling good. We're feeling prepped and primed. El Yoya even said that he feels like they're going to win. So I know you don't want to go that far, because I believe we had you on PGL also at the same spot in winter before you ended up heading to that final. What is for you, for Hilly, the personal thing that you want to do better than in that winter final to make sure that not only you lift the trophy, but you go to MSI for you?
It's a tough question. I didn't really think about it, but I think at winter we were not as strong mentally team as we are right now. And I feel like this might be their issue as well, since they haven't dropped that many games and they haven't been challenged in best of 5, and we have. So I think we have an edge on them on that. So I think if as long as I help my team as much as I can in the game and outside the game, I think I'll do more than last winter, since I was probably not the best at that. So I think I'm much better now.
Okay. I wasn't blaming you for your winter performance. It was a team. problem.
I remember talking to Hilly after the match, and I remember watching that series. I felt like there was this lack of confidence in some of the decisions you guys were making, but watching you guys play, it feels like when someone makes a decision, he actually has 4 teammates behind him, and I think that makes such a big difference. I feel like whether it's a good decision, bad decision, doesn't matter. If a decision is made, it seems like, you know, if you're going in, everybody's going in, and no one gives a damn about the outcome. They just try to make the most out of it, and that's such a big difference maker, I feel, and it just shows in how you guys are playing.
And the other way around, if Elyoya kicks the enemy into the team, you're going to finish him off. The MasterCard play of the day is Elyoya's Lee kick on upset to seal the deal in Game 3. Guldborg did not believe.
No, but I was a believer after this, and as I said, I apologize. Okay, Elyoya, you listen, really good. Okay, absolutely clean, and you know. There it is. There's not much more to say about it. And I thought it was going to be tricky because, like, oh, here's a Syndra. There's, you know, Tahm is fine because if Tahm eats you, then you just kick the guy that he eats and you get 2 for 1. But I still thought that would be difficult. But, you know, that's the last time I underestimated Lee Sin.
You say it.
Wow.
It's, you know.
The Syndra flash was sick, actually. She would die as well.
Yeah. I like the fact that I imagine for Upset it must have been rough because the Tahm eat was always forced before anything happened, and then all of the other tools would just collapse on his head. The Tahm can just eat one person. In the past, his W was his eat, and now his champion is reversed. It's interesting to see this champion in play. I feel like only Korea can play it, really.
We heard it also in the voice comms. We played like a little snippet from Vitality, and every clip was like, can you eat? Can you eat? And every time, no, I don't have it. No, I don't have it. It's not up. It's not up. And that was the story of the game, unfortunately.
We were actually forcing around Tahm ult a lot.
Yeah.
Because if Tahm doesn't have ult, they're kind of playing like without 1 or 2 persons, because not even affiliates can walk up against like Vi, Nautilus. It's really hard. We were like forcing around Nash and stuff. And I think for them was quite hard to do anything about it unless they like 50-50 the Nash, but we were also ready for that. So I think we played quite well around Nash.
Also took a lot of Barons.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that one game, I was like, I gotta take another one.
Yeah, there were like 3 Barons, I think, with
Crazy.
I was like...
Yeah, getting those objective percentages up.
Nash
I like
keeps spawning.
it. Okay, let's take a selfie before we sign off.
All right.
Shall we stand?
Yeah, let's do it.
Better for the height difference, because then I can stand like here and then...
Oi. Oh, sorry. Get the, you wanna, yes, of course.
Okay. Fantastic. So we'll be back tomorrow for our spring split final between Team BDS and the Mad Lions. See you for Ready Check at 5:30. Have a great night.
Cease and desist available. Hilly's coming around behind the chicken camp. Bo is at the blue buff, so the engage is now coming. Cease and desist connects, charm perfectly timed, and once again, a very good dive.
Nice, can we kill them all? Kill them all. Dive. I go. Rune is KD. Kill him. Oh, don't give me more kills. Don't go.
They're going to re-aggress Mad Lions. They have to retreat.
Nyan Cat catches onto Hilly. Dredgeline backwards, another kill, upset securing. Dredgeline will connect Bo by some time. Photon gets caught up by the mine. Devour used. Elyoya fights the kick! Upset is taken down! Elyoya setting it up. Elyoya has got the ult available, stepping in. Kaiser the first focus. Biskin buying some time. Upset still takes the auto from Hilly. Elyoya follows the Lee Syndrome, but the Devour is up, and it's interrupted. That's the first kill of the ball. The second secured, both of them going to Kazi.
Okay, we're going. Look at Chase.
It's fine. You're fighting. I will get the trick.
Beside us. Okay,
yeah, look this way.
Upset trying to get in range. Galen forces forward. Gets 1, gets 2, and Elyoya's going to be the last to fall.
Yeah, I'm here.
I scared him.
Okay, guys. Okay. I'm not in the fight, by the way. I'm not in the fight.
It's fine. Kite.
Yeah, kite back. They have no eat.
Oh,
so f***ing good, Chasey. Let's go.
Play.
Holy f*** Chasey. Jesus Christ.
So f***ing good,
Jesus Christ, Chasey.
Holy.
The lower bracket legends do it once more.